Hello and welcome to this Come to Jesus Daily Devotion. I trust you are well. Today we continue in the Gospel of Luke. Let's read again from Luke 7:11 to 17. Soon afterward, Jesus went to a town called Nain, and his disciples and a large crowd went along with him. As he approached the town gate, a dead person was being carried out, the only son of his mother, and she was a widow. And a large crowd from that town was with her. When the Lord saw her, his heart went out to her, and he said, "Don't cry." Then he went up and touched the bier they were carrying him on, and the bearers stood still. He said, "Young man, I say to you, get up." The dead man sat up and began to talk, and Jesus gave him back to his mother. They were all filled with awe and praised God. "A great prophet has appeared among us," they said. "God has come to help his people." This news about Jesus spread throughout Judea and the surrounding country. And today we're reflecting on this idea that Jesus' raising of this man from death foreshadows our future bodily resurrection when Christ comes again. This week we've seen that this account teaches us many things. It encourages us to believe that Jesus continues to have compassion. He continues to heal. He continues to work miracles. We've seen that this miracle points to the great miracle of our regeneration, our being born again by the Spirit, our salvation. This spiritual resurrection. Finally, today we see that this miracle is foreshadowing our future bodily resurrection when Christ comes again. Prior to raising Lazarus from death, Jesus reveals his identity to Martha in her grief. In John 11:25 to 26, we read this. John said to her, "I am the resurrection and the life. The one who believes in me will live even though they die, and whoever lives by believing in me will never die. Do you believe this?" Here we see that Jesus is the giver of all forms of life. Natural and spiritual life are his gift. Our salvation is his miracle of new birth. Added to this is the great promise of future resurrection at his second coming. He is the resurrection and the life. By his grace, like this widow's son, we will be raised, but in a new resurrection body like Jesus has. Paul teaches at length on Jesus and our future resurrection in 1 Corinthians 15. In this section, he teaches on the unbreakable link between Jesus' resurrection and our future bodily resurrection. For example, we read in 1 Corinthians 15, 20 to 23, "But Christ has indeed been raised from the dead, the first fruits of those who have fallen asleep. For since death came through a man, the resurrection of the dead comes also through a man. For as in Adam all die, so in Christ all will be made alive, but each in turn. Christ the first fruits, then when he comes, those who belong to him." Paul calls Jesus' resurrection the first fruits. This is about him being the first of many to follow. Imagine moving into a new home with a fruit tree that you don't recognize in the garden. However, when the tree produces an apple or a pear, you know that all the fruit that will follow will be of the same kind. Likewise, Jesus' resurrection is the same kind as all Christians will experience. And he goes on to say in 1 Corinthians 15, 42 to 44, "The body that is sown is perishable, it is raised imperishable. It is sown in dishonor, it is raised in glory. It is sown in weakness, it is raised in power. It is sown a natural body, it is raised a spiritual body." We may wish otherwise for ourselves or for others, and we may pray or even pay that it were not so, but our current bodies are perishable, dishonored, weak, and natural bodies. That is, their normal, earthly, flawed, mortal bodies. However, we have the promise that because of Jesus' death, resurrection, and his power working in us, our bodies will be transformed as they are raised imperishable, glorious, powerful, and spiritual. So in response today, we see that this miracle is a foreshadowing of our future bodily resurrection when Christ comes again. Today, as we see Jesus raise this widow's son and the rejoicing of the crowds, let's see that day when those who have died in Christ and we ourselves will be raised as Jesus was raised, and there will be eternal joy. God bless you.